All right, so today we are here, joined live with Alphos and Wonder, to watch the wonderful match between Dick Burns and Baker. How are you guys doing today?
Wonderful. Fantastic. I'm ready for
Doing
some
great.
hype.
Thank you.
welcome. Alphos for the first time. Very nice to meet you and have fun with you today. Wonder, the wizard, we go way back, so, I don't need to introduce him anymore. Let's be real, guys. But we have some fun stuff to talk about today, and I was going to go in order here. So we have the tale is old as time. Dick Burns versus Baker, right? This has been I don't know, a 3 or 4 month build up at this point, and we're finally getting it, which is exciting for me because there's been a lot of trash talk going on. And we have a lot of stuff to go over, but today we are going to be watching Dick Burns versus Baker. And of course, it wouldn't be Lorcana Villain without him playing Ruby Amethyst. Is there any shock to you guys at all that this is the deck that Lorcana Villain decided to play today?
Absolutely not. I've not seen the man touch any other deck at any of the content creator tournaments. So I assumed he'd be running it back for this show match.
To be fair, I've never seen him pick up a deck of cards, so.
It's very, very fair. Quite true in some ways. Anything in particular that you guys like or dislike about this build by Baker?
I think that only 2 Flynns confuses me, and I think that Tremaine is unnecessary in such a fast load of a grand meta.
Okay, that's pretty fair.
I'd maybe want to see more Sisus and less Be Prepared.
Okay. I can definitely agree to those things. Obviously, I'm pretty confident that the players did not know what the other registered, right? It wasn't until after the fact. So. I know that I think they've seen each other's decks now, but I think going in, so I don't know. It's tough because Dick technically has played like all sorts of decks, so it's not like he can, really be that predictable. I would say, whereas Lorcana Villain maybe only playing Ruby Amethyst might have been a little bit more predictable. Oh, hard to say. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see this kind of come through this way. I like the one lady is kind of just like a, hey, I still have this, so you have to respect it in a way. I guess it depends, but I am with you though. I think more CCs would have been better.
I'm personally a 4 genie, 3 rabbit kind of guy.
Oh yeah, that I agree with for sure. All right, so let's take before we have to give a little bit of praise here to Mr. Baker, who is a Disney Lorcana caster, the first ever set champion. That is true. And he couldn't even think of a third thing to talk about himself.
Already with the smack talk. Very subtle, but it's better that way. Makes you think. You're like, did he mean to slight him right there?
I did.
There's no way.
I would never.
I mean, what do you mean the third one? Like his Be Prepared is like, honestly, he's more famous for that than anything else.
Well, but why would it go erm? Like erm ... Wouldn't it just be like bold, capitalized, Be Prepared the whole time? Like that's how I would approach.
Well, it's more like
he needs to have an air of
you should
grace
know.
and humbleness.
Oh, okay.
But actually, we interpreted that in 2 very different ways.
Yes, we did. You're like, he's humble. I'm like, he's like, obviously he's throwing it in your face. How do you not know this?
Yeah. You were thinking, be prepared, and I was more like, be prepared.
Very, very fair. All right, so let's take a look at Dick here. He is playing the Amethyst Steel Dock deck. This is a list that Dick has been continuously working on since DLC Vegas and has continued to do so. I can say that I did not have any input on this list whatsoever because he's still playing Mr. Arrow, and I think that's a huge mistake, but that's such life. Aside from that, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think he definitely bet on a Ruby Amethyst list from Baker, so, maybe he played into that a little bit. Hard to say.
Well, the Mr. Arrow's not really fantastic into that, though, right?
No, it's not. I agree. That's why I wouldn't have played it.
Fair,
I mean,
fair.
It's an interesting comparison to Mickey, which has the same stat line but comes in at an ink cheaper and a lore less.
Yeah, I just think it's like on I mean, obviously, if we win the die roll, we probably don't care, right? Then we're just like, I'm just
Mm.
gonna put dudes in play. But on the draw, Mr. Arrow is such a liability that like if he's in your opening hand after mulligan, you don't feel great about it ever. So therefore, I just don't want him in my deck list. That's kind of where I'm at with
I
that card
agree.
right now.
I think if it was for Mickey instead, you're on the draw, you're looking at challenging for Diablo and Chernobyls and trading it for free.
Just anything, right? Like literally
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, aside from that, Pluto comes in, makes a big stamp on this. I guess like again on our play games, like having Pluto feels pretty phenomenal in that spot if we can hit him on 4 and just protect everything. Don't know how much of a reliability that is, but that's definitely the strategy, is my guess. 3-Pete is probably saying, "Hey, I'm not going to lose the Be Prepared," right? Like he's not going to let him sing today, guys. Is that what that is?
I mean, yeah, he
Stops the
kind of wants
friends,
not to.
We shall see how it all
Very
plays
true.
out. But of course, we have Dick's bio here. Dick is a 5-time top 8 SCG player for those at home. That is Star City Games. That's kind of where Dick really made his name in the game early, being successful in some of the early on SCGs this year. He's also the most sponsored player. I don't know that there's any truth or claim to that. He is the worst player on TFM. I don't know I can also agree with that, but we'll let him say what he wants to say, guys. Wonder, you know Dick a little bit better than Alphos, I'm sure. What do you have to say about Dick Burns in this moment?
Richard Burnsley. I mean, he's a great guy.
Richard
Um,
Burns.
The full name. You're about to tell him off.
It's not even true. It's not even true.
His fake government name.
But nonetheless,
When I saw someone was just like, "Is that his real name?" I'm like, "Well, no, it's obviously Richard Burnsley. Like, this is just
obviously,
obviously, it's just a stage name.
Avi, he says,
He's
guys.
bad for the brand,
He is bad for the
obviously.
brand. So before we get this game officially started, I wanted to welcome Alphos and Wonder to the stream, of course, here. But yeah, so this has been a lot of fun, for sure. But it has to get settled today, and that's why we're all here. We're here to watch this wonderful gameplay. Phil, if you can hear me, you can tell our competitors they can begin, and we are ready to start. And yeah, I hope everyone's here for this as we get it going.
Sweet as well. Time to, see that we had the NA versus EU finals. That was
Yeah.
child's play compared to this. This is Lorcana Villain versus TFM Dick Burns. This is the true showdown.
I think the only problem is we just don't have anyone to sing "Be Prepared."
Oh, I could try my best at some point.
I think that's the only reason you're here, Alphos. It's just, when it comes to it, it's for you, buddy.
I was told by my partner that I have a very consistent singing voice. It's just always in the wrong key.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Wow, mine
we can
told me
apply
the
that
same
skill.
thing.
Very, very fair.
Maybe together, Luke. Our keys
maybe.
can oscillate together and produce the
Or
correct.
it'll be the worst thing
It'll
ever.
be even worse than it was before.
Like, I've had this every time I see Calhoun, I think of the Jolene song.
Right.
And I'm just like, Calhoun. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to rewrite some words and record it. I did it. And I listened to it. And I was like, I am never publicly releasing this. Like, this is why my son tells me to stop singing in the car. And it's making me even more self-conscious of when I sing on stream.
Oh, you just made
No,
me...
that has to be like a sub count goal public release. Like it's locked under vault until like 10K subscribers, and then it's out there. No, like you don't even have control of it. It's like an automatic script.
You
Like,
definitely made me feel a little bit better there, Wonder, because I get yelled at all the time by my kid too for singing. So,
Dude,
we're making
like
the
my
wizard
wife and
bigger.
I are not allowed. We're not allowed to sing along on car rides. He will just like freak out on us, and I'm like, there's no way. My wife can actually sing, so like it's understandable for me. Like, but
in my New Zealand high school, we had a habit of singing for like school songs, and one time I had this girl next to me go like, "Hey, if you're not even gonna try, just don't sing at all." And I was trying my hardest, like I wasn't taking the piss. I was really trying to sing.
Oh. All right, so we have a couple of opening hands here to look at. It looks like Dick has a pretty slow opener with only Chernobog's followers. I think this
I do
is
see.
pre-mulligan, I believe.
I do see one. Be prepared.
That's not bad. That was fine.
That's pretty good. That's great.
Yeah, it's the rest of the singing after that one bit that's not good. I swear.
I could hear the resonance from across the pond. Like my blind started vibrating.
Oh, there you go. It didn't go through the headset. It's just no.
No. I have a filter.
Oh, okay.
I've been deafened by Baker one too many times while listening to him cast.
That's very fair.
He's keeping the arrow, but it makes sense. It's curve.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked he's keeping the snake. The snake honestly might
So
just be ink.
Is Burns on the play here?
I'm not sure.
See, I never keep snake or fox in my dock lists when I play them, because I want to draw them late game to return dock and to win. And like I have to ink them in these regards because it's just like I don't have the time. Like the dock's not as good then. It's like, why am I playing the dock?
Yeah.
I
think I would have shipped the snake too. My only thought there is if he's on the draw, it's fine. Like just to not get blown out by a Flynn, which he shouldn't either. But I might have been more greedy if I were Dick. You know, I might have just shipped everything except for the turtle box follower, if I'm being honest.
I think against
that's
the
what I
Flynn, you
would
have
do.
to respect it and keep the snake in this matchup specifically.
Well,
depending on
That's
what
fair.
else is in your hand.
Oh wow! I'm sorry. Did you just see Baker try to do like the "let's go for a good game" and just got like cold shouldered? Burnsley didn't even move it up. He was going towards the stage name of Dick Burns.
He might not even have looked at the computer. Who knows? That's like the one weird disconnect with webcam games, you know. Sometimes
You're just making excuses.
No, I'm just being honest. Sometimes you just miss the cues. Oh, he's got the subtle ink tokens. I like it. Fun fact: every one of Dick Burns' ink token is signed by Dick Burns.
Well, see, I found out you're not allowed to use signed ink tokens in DLCs.
Well, that makes sense.
If they're all different signatures.
Oh, wait, why?
Because they're different. Well, all right. So I was told that because they're different signatures, you can use them to mark things. And my logical response is if you see me looking through my ink tokens and specifically picking one out each time, then DQ me for cheating. But if I shuffle my ink tokens and grab from it randomly, it shouldn't matter. But I guess they don't want me to
it's
play
another thing
with
for the judges
tokens.
to track. Right?
Yeah. I guess that's interesting.
I think you just want to reduce mental load on judging as much as possible.
So we are going with the go wide plan here for. I guess Baker. It looks like Baker did win, so he won the die roll, and then he's opting to stay wide and not snake there, which I can respect, especially with the crab in hand.
Wait. You heard it.
It makes a lot of sense because the magic broom represents a draw, so either they give up their draw with the Chernobog in order to trade it, or the broom just gets to stick around and quest for longer.
Agreed. What was that one?
I was just gonna troll you.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say you heard it here first. He said Baker's gonna win. Or he said Baker won. He won the whole feud. He called it right there on turn 2. So I heard a rumor that wasn't actually Burns's daughter in that video.
Oh no, it was.
Okay, that does make it better.
100% it was. Trust me, she was very excited. That was a very late addition to the video. That video came in very late during editing process.
I assume she just heard everyone laughing and having a good time about it and was like, I want to talk trash too, Daddy.
Oh, no.
I was going to say I loved the sound because I could tell that she was reading off of like a script to say. Like you could go enunciating the words like, is stupid.
I don't think so. She's only like 7. Hard to say.
Fair.
We were in Atlanta when she did that, so Dick wasn't even home for that.
Oh.
Was it a full surprise for him? Like he didn't even know it was there until he saw the finished video?
No. He did. Like, they sent like 3 or 4 of them actually. So I used the best one. I thought snotty was like the most insulting thing to say ever. So.
Yeah, snot-nosed brat. That's a pretty good one.
Ooh, Sisu.
It's a pretty
I
good
mean,
start for
Sisu
Baker
is
here.
amazing here into the Smee, you know, being able to trade 2 for 1. It makes you question whether or not you want to quest with the Diablo this turn, though.
I mean, Diablo might just be free lore or draw a card forever. I don't mind kind of just utilizing it like that. I think if Dick has to play defense on Diablos, like that's definitely not where he wants to be in the game anyway. And honestly, looking at the hand, you might even want the card at this point.
Yeah, I think the quest with Diablo is nice, because if he does choose to trade it and 2 for 1 with the Sisu, then at least the Sisu lives after that trade, and he
Right,
hasn't quested with the Smee.
right. Like he doesn't
I
get too lore,
assume
you know.
I assume that he was just like, do I want him to just freely get this and start a trade war, or do I have a crab in hand?
Yeah.
Do I want to keep it back and just eat and draw a card?
Yeah.
The problem is like, if you're not questing with your Diablos, I think that's a big sign. Players should be like, oh, they must have the crab. They're not
Yeah.
willing to just like sacrifice this. So it could go a few ways. I'm honestly kind of surprised he didn't turn in the broom, but since he's questing with Diablo, it makes sense because he needs to have something to bounce for Fox.
Yeah, but the funny thing now is that even turning sideways here, getting the Diablo off the table is great, but now Crab can just utilize my broom if I want to. If we don't need the draw card with broom, we can just crab our broom, get rid of the Fox,
That's
and just be like
I think
way
we'd
ahead.
rather
fair.
take the draw at this point, though, because if you just play the rabbit down, you know, after questing with a broom, pick up a broom, then you quest with the Sisu, and you're forcing him to trade 1 for 1, whereas you get 2 lore and an extra draw from a broom, and the extra draw set up from a rabbit.
Especially since he's on the play.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
think no
right
matter what,
now,
we're
it's
turning
like,
sideways.
who's the beatdown right now?
I think Vin
And
is going to be the beatdown for quite a good period right now, looking at his hand.
yep.
Baker's the
he's the
beatdown, but
beatdown-
he's also okay with stalling out the board because he knows he wins in the late game with Be Prepared and with that 1 copy of Sisu.
Yeah.
So like if he knows he's the beatdown, then he quests with Sisu, right? If
Oh, yeah.
he's trying to slow the game down, then he could offer some trades, even though it's not fantastic. Honestly, though, I don't feel he has the control capacity in his hand at the moment. So he
No.
has to maintain the beatdown until it's taken from him and he's forced to change like roles.
He's going to
Although
play goat
I
here.
might have wanted to have drawn a card here.
Yeah, I would have took rabbits.
Yeah.
I like drawing cards.
I would have preferred rabbit over goat. I think goat's something that can come down later.
Especially in this weird world now where, I mean, even if we quest with Sisu, letting the Fox take out 2 cards feels like a pretty easy way for Dick to kind of regain tempo.
I think
the
the
first
only
card is-
reason you play the goat over the rabbit is if you're trying to respect a possible library coming down, right? So then you can play your fox, play your crab in order to come back against it. In this case, just for fox.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Dick has 7 cards in hand. That's a lot.
I guess library respect could be one reason why it could have been worth the 2 lore to take out the Fox instead of questing. Because if Burns had a library there to draw a card off of trading Fox,
Yeah, that would have been pretty good.
That's real bad for Villain. But luckily for Villain,
Yeah.
he has crabs and there's no library.
The one thing that's tough now about this particular hand for Dick is that he has 2 snakes already. Definitely not where you want to be.
Yeah, especially if you have no rabbit to bounce back and forth.
He just doesn't have anything to bounce back and forth. Not efficient. Like if he had a Maleficent in play, you know, maybe you could kind of talk about it, but it's really difficult.
Yeah, you're probably looking at just bouncing the what's he called?
Probably
The 1/2 quest 2.
I imagine it might just be Smee, just to keep the better body protected, but maybe he wants the trades. I think it's all kind of
Mr.
difficult to
Arrow.
be honest. It is Mr. Arrow though.
Mr. Arrow, that was it.
Significantly
I've lost the deck.
worse. It's in the Discord chat.
Yeah, found it. Oh no, I just lost the tab I had it open in.
Oh,
I was on a different Chrome tab.
Fair. I gotta be honest, this is a really weird state for both players here.
Oh, there's the library though, coming down on the draw from the Dick Band.
That's not a bad library either. Theoretically,
It's pretty nice, especially if you're trying to trade back into this board here on the bounce back in order to control it. You can get some draws off it.
right. Like you can just trade your Smee in. draw an extra card, and then still have one resource left to play the broom, or just move Mr. Arrow to it to just say like, all right, let's draw more cards. I will say that it could end up poorly because double Fox in hand, so
Yeah. So he can probably assume there's one fox in hand. I don't think he would assume there's two foxes in hand.
Yeah, but even the rabbit and Chernobog plus fox is enough, like, so it could be dangerous to represent that right now.
Yeah, the library might have been too early of a play here, but I think setting up the broom in order for the library on the next turn, so you guarantee even more draw and the trade back with the snakes, is probably a much better play here. I like delaying the library a turn.
Yeah, so what ended up happening there, because it kind of blinked on us for the stream, he ended up just snaking twice, putting both Arrow and Smee back into his hand, and then follow up with the broom.
Yeah. I assume questing first, but as he did not rotate his cards, we can only infer.
It just like blinked. It was weird.
What does that Flynn say?
There's a couple signatures.
Oh, that was I believe that was a signature from Tim Schilder, the competitive game designer.
Yeah.
It happened after one of the events where we were just playing some games. I can't remember what it says exactly. Every now and then Tim would annotate some of our cards mid-game to nerf them, buff them, or just say something funny.
Tim is
makes
the best.
Makes for some nice souvenirs. Oh, Tim's awesome.
Tim is
such
like
a lovely guy.
One of my favorite people.
Neat. Great for cubes. Like, we got regular Flynn. Well, I drafted Super Flynn. This one cost less. Like,
he's a 3/3.
Yeah, I had that action card that gave you Ward and Evasive and Ursula's Return, but he just crossed out the for the turn, so I just had it permanently on my character.
I mean, that giving something a Ward token, like the game has not touched tokens at all, but like that would be irritating.
This is
pretty pretty overpowered even. Imagine just giving anything with 3 or more attack ward and high questing is already insane to get around Sisu.
I'm just thinking about giving Blue Fairy ward. Like, that's what I'm thinking about.
This actually could like really end up in a weird turn of events. The idea that Dick might be able to trade in his snakes to draw cards is pretty great for him.
Yeah, and refill his whole hand, play maybe a Smee to trigger the broom to banish it. So you're looking at drawing 4 cards next turn if he gets both of the trades.
Right.
But they only exert the goat, so you're looking at drawing 3 cards still, which is a lot.
So he's on 5 ink. He also has the ability to just play out his hand now. Because it looks like Baker is still on 6. Okay, he didn't uptick his signature there, but he just drew a Doc. But it does look like he's just going to take this slower turn. Doc is, in a world where we don't have Pete, Doc is always better after a Be Prepared anyway, or is like the final card going into Be Prepared type scenario. But it does look like we're just going to trade a bunch of cards away into our library and have some safekeeping. Drawing a second library, probably not exactly where he wants to be.
So we can still ink for Mr. Arrow, then attach for Broom and play. No, we wouldn't have enough ink. He would have needed to top deck a 1 cost instead of the library, right? In order to attach and trigger.
It's interesting. I think the other library could have been an okay play if he didn't need to. If he had more ink, I guess. Like, because he's going into 7, he doesn't. That exact reason right there is why I was like, another library would have been good to commit.
I mean, I wouldn't have inked it. I would have inked for Mr. Arrow, kept the library, because the doc already represents some extra drawing characters to attach to the library. So I think keeping the second library for in case you lose this one would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think this is a really easy, like, slow recovery turn for Baker here. Like, he just has so many options in his hand for ways to either remove a library or deal with the characters, like, either way. So because of that, this Be Prepared just gets to get the most value, most likely. And that's, I think, the scariest part.
I think he's hitting the fox into the library, bouncing the fox, playing the fox, and hitting into the library again.
Yeah.
I don't think I like this. I don't know.
I mean, I don't hate it.
I think I would have just rather played crab, bumped it, played fox, bounced the crab, bumped up the fox, taken out library,
Well, can't we
used
now?
fox to take out broom, and then quest and draw card. Probably started with the quest draw because we always
Right.
should draw first.
I think it's coming. I think that that's the argument here. If this is going to be a pop to find an inkable,
I'm so confused.
oh,
I guess
he's
this is
foxing
he's like, I'm
again.
taking out the.
Okay.
Wait.
So now he's taking out the broom.
Oh,
and
yes,
he just has
that's
2
right.
foxes. That's what ended up happening.
Yeah, I think your play is slightly better because you end up with the draw, right? From the Chernobyl.
Yeah, even if you just draw and then find an ink so you can play a genie, like I still think that that's even better because we're still ahead.
The benefit of this play is you don't expose there's a crab in your hand, so it's still hidden
Yeah.
info at
Yeah.
least.
I guess this does the same thing.
You have 2 4/3s. We need crap for.
But I think he should have inked the followers after he bounced it because he missed his
didn't ink
ink
anything for turn, which is very weird. I agree.
And he
Yeah,
wants
and you
to
want to get
go
to 8 ink for
Rabbit
the 4
Genie.
+ 4. Yeah.
Yeah, this might be a really large commitment to the board. And this,
See, if Burns had kept his library here, though, he would still be in a pretty okay position as long as he found a way to deal with at least one of the foxes, right?
yeah.
Well, he could have if he could have
He
played
could have traded
library,
the snake. Yeah.
traded with Snake, drew a card, played Smee, or moved Smee to library, and that would have been his ink. Maybe inked a card and then also played the follower if he needed to.
Yeah.
And instead he gets kind of punished, sadly.
I guess the question is here.
I don't know how I feel about the inking the Flynn here. When our opponent has 1 card left in hand post B prep, the Flynn's a great way to close out the game.
Yeah, it's interesting because
Yeah.
if he doesn't play Beaver there, Dick would have been able to go to 16, which is definitely danger zone. But obviously he draws his dock. I think I would have just discarded it. The second one, I'll be honest. I think that he got frustrated that he drew a dock off the top, which I totally get. But I probably would have just discarded the second one and hoped for better. Because like
I would have played both.
I think response to Be Prepared here, like Doc Snake is terrible. I would have.
What is he gonna hit?
Well,
Like,
if he just
so
if he just discarded the first dock and he hits a snake, that means he just gets to go Doc Snake Doc, and then draw 2 cards. So like it's the same
Yeah.
situation, but we didn't have to waste the other resources to kind of get back to it. I don't know. I didn't love it.
You probably just ink a
that
Maui
only
here and
works.
rabbit, right?
It only works if he draws a snake, because sadly the fox is too much.
Yeah.
To replay it again. But I do like if he hits snake, I do like that play more because then he gets to ink the followers before he plays the dock again.
Right.
So he maintains his velocity. That said, I've taken that play you've gone for, and when you just draw like 2 cards that are terrible, you're just like, man, I wish I had one more quester.
Yeah, I mean the hope is we're
He has
behind.
to-
We're behind in the game, right? We got to play the outs, and I don't think that playing the second dock was playing
Well,
to the out.
He's technically like his opponent didn't have anything, right? So like it's post B prep, he needs to catch up. So he needs as much lore as he can get to try to 2-tap.
Oh, he drew a Maleficent.
Which
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Playing Friends and Doc in the same deck.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah, I think
Make up
friends,
your mind.
friends in a dock deck is very unneeded.
I had,
especially if you're playing for tempo, I think you just rely on the dock and the bouncing of it, and that's as much draw as you really need.
I had Dose in this deck list. I'm just gonna keep saying it. Not 0.
I mean, it's fair. I'm assuming he's playing 3 or 2.
I think it's 3, but it might be 2. I forget.
I mean, it's a perfectly reasonable thing. The deck needs like this deck inks like no one's business for an aggressive deck. So you'll easily be able to play it on turn 5, draw 2, play 2 1-drops. It's not fantastic,
I mean,
but you're not always
ironically,
going to have Doc.
In this particular matchup, with how slow Baker's endgame is starting to look,
Not bad.
it might be pretty good. You know, like if our next turn is just, all right, we gotta
Not good here.
draw 2 cards. Like it's gonna be okay if we just slam 2 lures down.
Imagine if it was a character that he could have played with that extra ink.
Way better. But I mean, he already had. I think he has like 16 or 18 1-drops already. So it's not like it's.
So he's got
You could always have more. You can never have enough 1-drops. Assuming you have enough draw to play them, you can have as many 1-drops as you want.
I think this game is over. I don't.
I think
Does he
Baker.
play strength? He doesn't even have singers. It's just done, sadly.
Yeah, I mean,
Not what you want to see.
this was. I think it was a good attributed to going first. Sadly, this was a very very powerful
Kind of.
on the play.
Well, it's attributed to going first, but I think it also shows. I think a key turning point was inking that library, because if he had kept that, he would have had a little bit more juice to try and push through the game after that. Be prepared.
It would
Yeah.
the library.
And the library would have kept ticking lore, because he can't both be prepared the board and Maui the library in the same turn.
And he can only get to 18 this turn. Like, that 2 lore from that library could have mattered. Granted, he might not have had that, but the characters he played instead got B prepped, right?
Yeah, looks like
Yeah.
he conceded. Yeah, that was the big thing. He had to commit. He basically had to commit. I think he maybe committed one too many cards the be prepared turn. I didn't do like the math on if it was, hey, if he doesn't have it, I get to win the game scenario. But
So we're saying that Be Prepared won the game. Who gets to sing it? I already sang one.
no one sang it when we
Almost.
played it, guys. We all
Well,
sang
yeah,
it.
we should have done it when it was played, but we'll get it
No,
next
no,
time.
you got to do it now. We're not backing out. It's your turn for the game.
Okay. Be prepared.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's okay.
Pretty good.
All right, so that means Dan's up for the next one.
We're all in trouble. Everyone mute. Dan didn't have a voice for like a week, so I'm still recovering.
That'll make it better.
Oh, it was rough. So villain takes game
Oh,
one.
the riffle shuffle.
Oh yeah, bro. He goes and plays with this deck at locals with no sleeves and riffle shuffles. It's phenomenal. I mean the deck.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you play with the team's cards.
I mean the deck is like, I don't know, $85 maybe. He doesn't care.
I play
Does he
foil
do that
box
to
on my
people at
list.
DLCs? Does he take his opponent's deck and riffle shuffle it in front of him?
No, he would never. He would never.
I think you can get DQ'd for that, honestly.
Yeah?
Alphonse is lucky he's pretty.
Like, I think if you could prove somehow that they were maliciously doing it, like if you're full of enchanteds and they see that, comment on it, and then game 2 they try to like do a hard riffle shuffle, maybe not DQ'd, but you could probably sue them.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Like,
I absolutely hate an opponent's riffle shuffle, like my cards. Like it's because I am a foil player. Like I'll play everything foil, so it is very frustrating when someone picks up my deck and like riffle shuffles. I'm like, yo, bro, like those aren't your cards.
Bro, I'd freak out on somebody.
It's like,
Even if my deck was worth like 30 cents, it's just like,
shout out to
where's your awareness?
Shout out to
they're going straight to Twitter. I'm starting Twitter drama if they riffle shuffle my deck.
What, Braden riffle shuffles his opponent's decks?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's
Braden.
savage. He's savage.
Braden. Dude, I'm gonna like set him up. I'm gonna like put some foil Mickeys in my deck, and then like I'm gonna get them like pre-graded, take them out of the case, let them riffle shuffle, re-grade it, and be like, dude, you just cost me like $8,000. We're going to small claims, baby.
That's funny. So this is
I'll have to scrub this off the internet before I do that, though.
This is you should. That's a good idea. This is a monster aggressive starting hand for Dick here. Has the
a lot
dock.
of twos.
Yeah, I mean the biggest hope here is you just do not draw another dock in your first like 4 cards. I think if that's what happens, could be a runaway.
What Burns really needs is villain not to have that followers or a broom.
Or he has
because,
to find a fire their cannons right here. Like if he finds a fire their cannons, big.
That would be pretty good.
He could just harder the cards there, like boom, found top deck.
Because
Easy.
like going Maleficent, Arrow, and then 2-drop, 1-drop, and then 2-drop, 2-drop with the 2-drop being dock. Like this is the dream curve for this deck.
Absolutely. Like he literally just can't draw a dock. That's all he wants. No dock, and honestly, he doesn't really. I mean, Snake might be okay.
Bad.
That's pretty good, actually. Here's the question on this: like, do you actually take the Arrow over Smee here? Like, what is our turn?
I was considering going double one.
Do you think double one? I mean, the only reason
maybe.
why
I think you do Smee usually.
The only reason why you don't double one is because on turn 3 you need to go 2-1. So that's the reason why you don't double one.
You have to get lucky.
This is now game 2.
But if we get a third one, then we can go triple one on 3.
I mean, if we were living the dream, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. And if the other 1-drop in hand was Maleficent, I might double one.
Oh,
Right?
sure.
Because,
Because that's a
like-
lot of tempo.
Yeah, because it's like, who cares if I only play 2-drop on turn 3? I basically played the 1-drop a turn earlier,
Yeah.
and the other 1-drop's the equivalent, if they both quest for 2, that is.
Yeah. So he's
And I like this.
he very much is wanting an ink next turn. Like,
So,
any inkable
here's-
card is going into the inkwell.
Because we know hands,
Mm-hmm.
Arrow was the better turn 2 play.
Yeah.
On the average, Smee is better. And the reason why Arrow would be better is because he can just play Flynn, which then trades with Smee.
Yeah.
Whereas then the Arrow doesn't get traded with Flynn, so it would get to quest twice, or at least buy or pull out a crab or a fox.
Yeah.
I guess we get to see hands, so anything would die because of crab. So
I mean,
maybe it didn't matter.
ironically, like Diablo here is not bad. If turn 3 we're playing crab no matter what, if we can cash in our Diablo into Smee, draw a card, that's probably a pretty good tempo
Fair.
for us.
That's why I don't play red purple. I picked the wrong place.
What's red cards? Who plays red cards?
Ruby cards overrated. I play cards to nullify ruby cards.
All right, so interesting. All right, so this is actually he did draw an inkable and it was a 1-drop. So he just inked Mr. Arrow
Triple one.
and he's just gonna slam 3 1s on the table.
I mean, this is
Definitely.
just a beautiful, right? This is what you want to see on the
Yeah.
play as the aggressive deck, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we talked about who's the beatdown. Dick Burns is beating down right now.
Yeah. The one worry here again, if the next card on
Oh,
top of
look
his
at-
deck is Doc, it's gonna feel
Burnsley, don't miss
terrible.
your trigger. Don't miss your trigger, Burnsley.
Don't worry, he'll get it. He'll get it. It's gonna die to a crab no matter what, but he'll get it.
Where's the dice?
Oof, man, that
I need my
second
damage counter.
Be Prepared was a pretty rough draw.
Yeah, no, really rough. I mean, we're becoming very ink starved at the moment. I mean, now we can sing Friends with the Crab, but that does mean giving up a chance to trade into the Maleficent.
Yep,
Yeah,
I don't think that's
We
gonna be
don't
happening.
want that, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
no,
gonna
I
have
don't
to-
think that's happening.
Ink it, maybe, and play the rabbit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunate, but...
just, too much tempo loss at this stage of the game.
Why, friends? Why are you
I
not
mean-
happy?
I think just inking here
You
is
just
fine.
ink it, play dark.
Yeah, like you just ink.
Yeah, you
get-
have to.
Yeah, I think on average you were probably gonna do that anyway.
But if it was a 1-drop,
I mean, if it was
You
like
If it
the-
was a Maleficent,
yeah, if it was the third Maleficent, sure.
if it's a Smee, you could Smee plus dog.
I like this. I
yeah,
like
this is actually really good. You can actually just protect the
Yeah.
Maleficent here.
Actually,
I would have protected Maleficent, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, because you can always
I
pick
think
up the
so.
dock on the next turn
Yeah,
with the
you-
other
And
snakes,
replay it.
right? You
Right,
definitely
like he
pick
just
up on the
he already
left
had
turn,
2 snakes, so like, I think I would have just I think I definitely just protected it.
Next turn, if you had like a Diablo trigger and a draw for turn to hit the inkable to be able to play the Maleficent, Dock, and Snake next turn.
What is exciting about this though is it does look like that we're going to go to a third game, which is always the best case scenario for when you're doing a show match.
It's pretty tight.
Oh yeah.
Like the double Be Prepared, if we get to that point, could like really end the game.
That's a big if. That's a really
yeah,
big
yeah.
if with how much lore is on the board.
I mean, if we really just look at the trades, if we wanted to, we could get like 2 cards off
Brawl's
the
not
board.
bad.
We could get 2 cards off the board with Brawl, and still have a crab in play. So
I think that's what we have to do.
you
honestly.
know, like I don't know. It's really tough to.
Are you rule the Chernobogs? Because when you're removing the draw.
Ironically, the putting the Dock
think
back in
so.
our hand now is even better because of Brawl. So I guess I give a little bit of credit there.
Yeah.
I don't think Brawl would have hit the Dock. After,
No, I wouldn't
He
have.
wouldn't know that his hand was
He wouldn't
double
have as a
snake.
Listen, if I was the Ruby player, I would not have allowed Doc to remain in play. So that's just.
I mean, I understand that's important, but sometimes you have to be like, the slow bounce Dock is good against the late game stuff, but I can stop it with the first B prep. But I have to get to that first B prep.
Yeah.
It's just
I
a
think
matter of tempo, and at this point, he really
inking-
has to slow down the tempo.
I think inking Brawl is probably wrong.
It's so I thought about that too, where it's like don't get a lure this turn, but you do have the rabbit next turn to help take something down.
I just think that I would rather
So-
have Brawl over Friends at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Like,
Yes.
I just want
I'd
something that's
probably like that.
gonna like get rid of stuff, you know?
I don't think we're ever finding a turn in the next 2 turns where we're going to be able to sing Friends.
So had we bounced Maleficent last turn, this turn
Would have been much better.
we still, yeah, I think we could have played it instead of like the follower here and then bounced the dock. Or if they brawled the dock, we could have done a snake trick where you're just like, I'm at a high enough lore, I'm gonna basically force you to have to be prep by just using like a snake loop to gain lore each turn.
Yeah, I don't like. I definitely don't love having to like force the second snake here at all. Draws into a broom, which honestly is pretty great. Like if he just wants to throw off this broom, he could, just to get more board presence. I really think the way the game is going to end here is that if he can just get to 7 resources and be prepared, it's going to be very difficult for Dick to win the game.
I mean, he plays roses and
sure,
goats.
but we've also gone through 2 or 3 snakes already, I think. So it might be really tough. Like we're gonna go.
The second dock.
Yeah, that sucks.
Not ideal for Dick Burns.
And he has what? Only 4 ink. So like that is close to the worst case scenario ever. He really needed an inkable to go Rose Dock.
Well, you can churn a box to draw another inkable.
He might have to.
You never want to do that.
You don't like you don't.
Though.
You do not. I totally agree with you. But or technically he could quest with Broom, play Rose and pop Broom also.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try and draw the inkable. But
I mean, I think you maybe you do that first.
Yeah, I think
just
it's
in case you can save the churner box.
It's all pretty difficult at this point. Like in the end, he just didn't want to draw this card. Like even ink, I'm not even sure it's correct to ink there.
No, because you really want that lore. You're so close to 20. I think the lore
playing the
represented
extra
by the roses
dock.
worth so much.
It's like
I think
he gets 1 more ink this way, and the dock quest is like similar, kind of.
You
like,
can still get the same amount of ink by just triggering some of the draws, though.
He got
like you're still inking a card either way.
Yeah, he got the
I meant he gets the ink
there.
before the dock, so like it card advantage.
Yeah, but does that matter that much?
Ain't no party like a dock party,
It's
guys.
1 extra card, I think.
So he gets Diablo in play. I think you're questing twice here. Like, I don't know that I would hold this Chernobog back just for library next turn, personally, but...
No, you have to just refill your hand. But it looks like he's giving it up here.
Yeah, which is interesting. I think I always just took the lore there.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. It's not. He's going to 6 ink this turn, not 7. I think it's fine to hold back a turn, actually, under that scenario.
It depends on, like, if he can even put everything in the library next turn. I don't know that he can. So if anything, I would have just cashed in this turn. I think, because I think now that, like, the third dock in his hand is not going to get played until after a Be Prepared. But
that's fine.
He doesn't need to put everything in the library, though. He just needs to put in the things that can be traded into, like
I think
Box, Diablo, and the 2 docks.
I think we might put
because
everything
snakes are free.
Because next turn we're not doing anything but playing library anyway, right? Like we're gonna go into Be Prepared and just play library and say, okay, like you have to deal with both of these things, and it's the only way that happens is if Medusa's played this turn, which I imagine it will be. Like Medusa was the best draw ever for Baker in that turn. Because now this comes in and gets to like take the lore away and also present a way to get rid of library.
Mm-hmm.
So that might actually force some like interesting plays for out of
humorously. It depends on what he hits, because Dick can play library and then take out rabbit.
If
then library can't be taken down.
Yeah.
But he might also just snake the rabbit and then play another card. And if he does that, then like
if he does that, I think
really stop him.
I think Dick just wins the game. If this isn't Medusa here, I think that Dick is just going to win the game.
Well, if he does double just from lore count, you think? I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
just
he's
because
at
like the library
5.
into the next turn is just going to be way too difficult to overcome. Is this enough?
Well, I'm saying if he plays crab and snake, he's going to have enough to take out library and then play B prep.
And still gets a rabbit back for the draw.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
this is 2. This is 7. So like even this, this might be a way for Dick to still win the game because it's only
Although
7.
we do have to call out a slight
That's 8,
incorrect play in order. You always want to bounce back the rabbit first to see what your draw is, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Now he's thinking about singing or questing, but at this high of an opponent lore, you have to start questing because eventually, like, Burns will draw card draw into the remaining goats, and going to 17, a single goat is like
yeah. So this is
definitely,
still
you have to B prep it kind of, or
This
the
is-
one lady.
Yeah, this is still like the worst case scenario though for Dick because now the library isn't as strong because he has 8 strength in play and everything's readied, so he has no way to interact. I don't know that there's a better play than to just play it like he is. But
No, I think he has to. He has to force the trade and the B prep, and then you know
Yeah.
hope that he can then win after that.
wow,
Oh.
the kid does he has 5
But he
ink?
can't put things onto it though.
No, but he
That's-
yeah,
So he can
that's
So he
actually
can't keep it
for the
around
sake
for
of
the
the
lore.
genie.
the strength isn't that good though right now because that would be his whole play, I think.
Well, he can't even do it because he moved the
Yeah.
Oh
follower
yeah,
to
it
it.
doesn't have enough ink. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could ink to 2 ink, but it wouldn't be enough for the strength.
Yeah, so I think you just ink
Ink strength, play
2, 3.
nothing, just move 2 things to library and quest.
But you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just ink strength and play nothing. Yeah, and you're just like, okay, like you have to use your whole turn.
The problem is if he, I guess, yeah.
No matter what, it's
just-
like you have to use your whole turn to get rid of my board, and gain no lore, and he still has like a follow up of Dox Me Broom. This again,
It's a crazy post B prep.
right? But it also
Yeah.
this is where I said that second Be Prepared might just flat win the game. So we'll see if that was possible.
I mean, it depends on what doc draws.
Yeah.
He might not
Also-
even play the doc even. Like he might just draw another like
Well,
value
you
character
can-
to play.
It's true.
You can Smee Broom Doc trigger Broom, right? In order to draw
Yeah,
3
you can
cards.
you
You
can draw
could.
3, yeah.
Yeah, you could. I don't know if we would in this position, but you definitely.
I think it would be good if you're playing around the second B prep, because then you're
I think it
keeping a healthier
depends.
hand state.
Yeah, it's definitely more
It
about
depends on what you draw in the doc.
right. Like
Yeah.
if
Because you
we're-
get to see what you draw first.
if we just assume that we have to gain, like we just have to draw goats to win the game now, then that's probably what you were doing.
Yeah, you put lethal in play or lorethal in play with
Lorethal.
Smee
Lawful.
and
I love
doc.
that term.
Yeah.
And like that alone forces them to have at least one answer. And if you're able to quest for one, then that means any goat is game. He just
Can we
needs
say
one more.
checkmate as casters, or is that too chess related?
No.
Because in person, I like saying I have a checkmate turn, you know, rather than lethal. Well, that's check, you know.
I mean, Burns basically has villain in check at the moment. And he's just like, well, am I going to sacrifice one of my queens or rooks or whatever you want to call the be prepareds?
I think the equivalent to be prepared in chess would just be flipping the table up and saying I don't play anymore, wiping their pieces off the board.
Maybe turning a pawn into a queen. You better be prepared for this, buddy. And that's about the extent of my chess knowledge right there.
This is a big thought out turn here.
Library did not get taken out.
Yeah. Did it freeze on us?
He sang Friends.
Okay.
He sang Friends? Oh my god, he sang Friends.
Why would he sing Friends?
I think that's why he's taking so long, because he's maybe just realized the error of his ways.
Yeah. I'm more or less just making sure that we're not frozen on it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he realized the error of his ways and has conceded.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So...
I mean, he probably was losing that game anyways.
Yeah,
But it is unfortunate we didn't get to see Burns draw 3 strengths in a row to lose.
The best news
Yeah.
ever for everyone is that he didn't play Be Prepared, so I didn't have to sing. So there's that. That's...
I think he purposely
Well,
did
no,
that
there's still a
so we
third
wouldn't-
game. Don't you worry. You still have the third game to sing then.
Listen, I was saying that the second one might have been the reason he could win that game. So I guess it had to have been like, oh, I drew my friends and I didn't realize I could have removed,
I don't know
you know,
what the Queen's Gambit is in chess. Is that when
uh,
you just trade queens?
well,
or...
Yeah, it's where
queen-
you. I believe it's where you give up your queen in order
Oh,
to
God.
trade it for
Oh, God.
another piece.
What is BRB? Okay, we got a BRB here, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So the interesting thing there was clearly it. You know, you can make
Whoa,
mistakes.
what card was just ripped?
A ruby card. Was that a rat?
Is that a rat again?
Was a rat again?
Oh, he's going for the double tear. It's not quite got it.
He's-
2 pieces at once was a bit ambitious for the amount of tension with that cardboard. It goes to show the quality of these Disney Lorcana cards, really resisting the strength of Dick Burns.
I mean, to be fair, that was a live Ratigan, and if you look at Lorcana Villain's symbol, that is a skeleton Ratigan. So
Ooh.
obviously, this is from the past, and this is Lorcana Villain's origin. He time travels when he dies and goes back, and he becomes the skeleton Ratigan.
Also, we
I don't know what kind of omen that is.
We were slightly distracted by the card ripping, but The Queen's Gambit is also a phenomenal show on Netflix about chess.
Oh, amazing. Which is why I don't know what the Queen's Gambit actually is, because I just really like the Netflix show.
Yeah, like when people
Weird.
when people used to ask me like, what's it like to like really play cards competitively? When that show came out, I said this is like exactly what it's
Yep.
like, but for chess. Like this is everything that she
Down
does.
to the wire.
It's perfect. Yeah.
I would take
Except
breaks in
if you
games.
lose, you get to blame it on randomness, where in chess you have nothing to blame it on.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
I would often in matches and DLCs, I go to the bathroom and I sit in the stall and visualize cards on the ceiling and they move around for a while.
Yeah.
And then I come back to the table and I just win. I just have that look on my
Luke,
face.
Have
and I know.
you? Are you sure you're being given the right prescription by your doctor? Have you been?
I mean, I
something?
asked for whatever they took in the Queen's Gambit, so
I'd get
Great show,
a
though.
check on that paracetamol, mate. I think.
It looks like RMB is telling us that it's a chess opening that the queen ends up taking like 3 to 6 pieces, and he's very disappointed in us.
I don't play chess.
Yeah, no, I don't play. I played chess when I was like 6 years old, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I think chess is a game that really requires the proper people to teach you, and the people who introduced me to chess were not those people.
I just
So
played
there-
Simpsons chess against my uncle, and then went to
Simpsons
chess club a
chess.
couple of times. Yeah, with Simpsons pieces.
All right, so we do have.
So Bart was the pawns.
Oh,
It
you're
was
good.
great.
No, Bart's pawns make sense. Mr. Arrow is, I think, taunting Dick for putting him in the deck list, guys. He just-
Yeah,
Probably
honestly,
free
like
again.
now that I see 3 in his hand, it's really making me question his inclusion.
I do think this is pre-mulligan at least, but it looks like he's keeping 2 of
He's
them?
keeping 2 of them.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'd
Needs
keep
ink,
the fox or both arrows.
I mean,
Yeah, he does need ink.
he's definitely.
But yeah, I'm a greedy boy. I would have only kept the 1 drop there and
Yeah, I would have kept the China and just gone
get-
for the turbo opener.
Yeah, on the draw, I think that you have to. Like, you actually just have to be greedy with this deck on the draw.
I guess
Well, there
what do we
is
want?
another be
Double
prepared.
one.
So I believe, Dan, your time to sing is upcoming in roughly 7 turns.
Yeah, I don't see a Pete in sight.
Let's go, Pete, on turn 6. All right.
Do you
add
think
some
I'm
Dick Burns
talented?
as Mr. Arrow to the scriptures as a villain.
I was gonna
principal.
say, do you think I'm talented enough to Photoshop that before this game is done?
What?
I think if you put your mind to anything, Luke, you can achieve anything.
All right.
Is Mr. Dick Burns is Mr. Arrow? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That sounds great.
I
you
think
have all
the
of
bigger question is, are you still going to be able to keep your high quality of casting while photoshopping at the same time?
That's why there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
I love the broom start here. Perfect.
Oh, the broom mirror. We're going to get this house clean.
There we go. That was good. Well played. Well played. Why is this library like okay? It's like all
Too
the way in the
good. I
corner.
love
I'm
it.
like, what's he doing over there?
Or maybe it's just for the dusty library instead.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I gotta read those books while cleaning. You know, the start we always
I
want.
think the analogy will fall apart the further we play the game. I'm not sure why, uh, Shaolin monks will be showing up to the library if we end up seeing a strength of a raging fireplate.
That's very true. Pluto has yet to make too much of an impact. I think it was the final card that Dick drew in game 1 when he conceded. I do wonder here if this is just a... Oh, he's going to turn him sideways. Are we just going to play and draw? Yeah. Just cash it in.
But I guess the problem with Mr. Arrow on the draw here is it's so free to die to Snake, right?
It just dies
Like,
to, like...
Yeah, like you'd
everything.
really ideally want the Calhouns, because at least the Calhouns would trade back, right, and threaten the Snake not questing.
Absolutely agree. On the draw, Calhoun is 100% a better card.
It's not even that bad on the play. Like, it's just a
No,
solid
yeah,
card all
it's
around.
fine.
Calhoun. Calhoun.
Calhoun,
Calhoun. Calhoun.
I think you guys don't need
You know
I'm
what? It does
begging
fit.
of you, don't challenge my man, even though I know you can.
This is how he casts in Photoshops. He just sings.
So this is
I
the
don't have
sneak
to-
peek.
I
This
hear
is
a
the sneak
word and
peek
that's
for the
all I
full
do.
version you're releasing in 2025, right, Luke? With full
Yeah,
production,
exactly.
audio mixing.
He's gonna get Baker to edit it. It's gonna be great.
You gotta get some.
Yeah, if you
auto-tune
need a
on it.
backup singer, I'll be there, mate. I won't be singing in your key, but I'll be singing in a key.
There you go.
in a key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan's voice got quiet. Did it stay quiet?
I mean, yeah, Burns is in a really difficult position here. Like, Baker has board control. Burns wants to be the beatdown, but right now Baker's the beatdown with cards that can quest for a decent amount and will live any trade. Other than this Fox, of course, but just how do you come back from this position, right? Like, in a deck as fast as Burns is, even if you lose the tempo, you want to gain it back super, super quickly. But in this case, I'm not seeing how we gain it back from this position.
I do think that was a very well timed Fox there, because this will enable next turn that we can play a library, and then make a trade with the Sisu most likely, but we get a card back. So I think that that's sort of a way, but it's definitely a slow race here. The other option here is we can.
I think Baker's made a brilliant play here of not questing with the Sisu though. So they're not giving the best possible trade from Fox while stalling out the game as their Snake quest once a turn till they reach the Be Prepared.
So the other option here is we get to play a 2 and a 1. We get to play a 2 and a 1, and then we can actually sing our strength to remove something. But preferably we might just be hanging out. This might just be like, hey, I'm gonna get the board positioned, and then come back with a nice strength play, or I'm gonna get the board positioned for a really nice trade and library turn. So sacrificing early lore just to try and win the late game, which is definitely not easy for this list, but cards like strength and library are ways to at least give you a chance to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's correct here to try and set up the strength onto the genie, but I'm not sure if it's an out. But maybe if we take out the genie and if villain doesn't get any ways to draw cards, like no rabbits, no friends, then they'd be able to slowly grind the board state back.
Yeah, it's definitely a way to get rid of genie. I love that we're just never questing Sisu. We're like, nah, it'll just hang out till I need it.
Cece's just gonna hang.
just gonna
Like,
happen.
if we eventually get a turn where we've cleared out enough of Baker's board to the point that we can put the library down and get some card draw going, then we're going to be able to recover post Be Prepared, and there's an out to win the game.
Right, so we get to go to 5 ink here, so we can play library, move Smee to library, play Maleficent, sing Friends, get rid of Genie, and then run Smee into Snake, draw a card. But like the problem with that is that we only get to draw 1 card of our library, and we leave ourselves pretty vulnerable to not drawing any more because he has 4 strength or 8 strength already in play. But if like that is the line, I mean Baker's hand doesn't have any draw in it, so he could be kind of behind in the game that way.
You broke my brain because you said sang friends, and then I was like, how is he answering this Genie? But
Oh, I said Friends. My bad.
That makes way more sense.
I meant
Sing
Strength.
Strength,
Like singing Strength.
Yeah, I think I would be prepared.
Pluto.
I would be prepared to like fire off Strength here, get rid of Genie, and just make.
Be Prepared?
I don't even know that you have to make the snake trade if you don't want to. But I do like.
I don't think you need to make the snake trade this turn. I think you wait
Yeah.
for the library and you just sing to get rid of the Genie this turn.
I think you have to get rid of Genie just because you have no other way to do it. Like this is. I think if he gets rid of Sisu here, or I don't like that either. I just think you have no good answer to getting rid of the Genie. Therefore, I would just get rid of it. Like the goat can just get banished. Like whatever. He's only on 8. Who cares? I do love this as a turn to like say, hey, okay, now you gotta deal with my
back in the game.
Like now you gotta deal with my Pluto, which is not easy by any means.
Well, it's just a crab away.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, now he has to be prepared, right? Even if it's not an ideal state for him to do so, by not getting rid of. Like if he pushes the board far enough, he gets rid of. I know. Yeah. But if he pushes the board far enough, the Genie's going to be destroyed by the Be Prepared anyway, right? If he finds no other way to clear this board.
So I assume this is crab.
Because the beatdown just shifted.
Yeah, I mean Pluto definitely enabled that turn to be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think Burns is in the driving seat here for sure. At least until that B prep comes down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It's all the Mr. Arrow.
To see how this now plays out. Like, how many characters can we keep in play this turn? Because if the trades work out pretty favorably in a way, then the library is going to end up looking very, very good.
Which I think Baker needs to see here and go, oh, this is a really bad board if he libraries it, so I need to spend the turns before Be Prepared reducing his board so that he can't get value off library.
He's giving him power right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why he made the mistake last game. Was like he felt the Radigan get ripped. Is like really depends on what universe we're in. Like, is this the one universe where every copy of Radigan that's removed, the rest all get stronger? Or is this like one where he needs the power from every one? Like
Mr. Arrow is not a captain. He should be.
He'd be a lot cooler if he was. But he's a first mate, I think.
Way more playable if he was a captain.
There's a lot of characters that aren't pirates that confuse me, such as Morph. It is wearing a little pirate hat, and I just want it to be a pirate.
That's fair.
And it's a morph, so it can be anything. Why not a pirate?
It would give it every tag. it should just have every tag.
Baker's really...
Yeah, it should have a keyword that does that, for sure.
I guess it's interesting to me that he traded the Sisu there.
Yeah.
Because the... I mean, I guess there's no way... I guess no matter what... no, that's not true, right?
I mean, the Sisu could have traded into the Smee and lived, right?
Well, I think that's what the Genie is going to do.
The
Genie's going to trade into the Smee and live. So yeah, but the Sisu could have. Oh no, the Sisu could not have taken out the Mr. Arrow, which is interesting.
No, it couldn't have because it's only 2 attack.
So yeah.
Well, he could have played the snake in hand to bounce the crab.
He has the Radigans just sitting there. He's good.
How many Radigans does this man have?
Enough to rip them all.
It's like a 10-cent card if even.
Yeah. Is this legal even? Are we allowing like voodoo magic to curse opponents mid-game?
He can't see it.
Exactly. He can't see it. It's an unknown force interfering with his play.
Oh, and we picked up... Alright, so that's actually pretty great to pick up Genie there. So what do
Jeff
we
John
draw?
Silver was still a captain. He was a hidden captain.
So we draw that. We put Fox on it. Fox trades into, and then we draw a Friends. I bet he's really starting to hate these Friends on the other side, guys.
I don't have time to Photoshop that one.
No, it's okay.
It's a lie. I probably do, but I'm lazy.
Just this little itty bitty head in the center, you know, like.
I mean, I already have the head cropped.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's all the hard stuff.
An interesting thing to see here is that we did say Dick Burns was in the driving seat, but quickly, without
No.
even a be prepared needed, it's
No.
back to Baker. And Baker's running the game,
baby.
both resources and tempo-wise.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting here
And
is
I don't want to hear that he won because he was on the play. Because as we even said, like, Burns was in control of this game for at least a turn. And that had nothing to do with who was in the player draw.
no. It's not over, though, by any means.
Correct.
Right now, it's a very, man, what a weird couple lines here. I think we do have to ink crab and then just do nothing. But, like, that's life. Is there a world where he could have genied? No, definitely not. So, yeah, never mind. This is just like, this is it. That was just his turn. He drew a strength, which is awful.
I really hope, even if it's not an efficient play, that Baker does play the Be Prepared at some point so that we get to hear Dan singing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it here, but I think here is just slam Genie, draw a card.
And now we can ink and play Sisu, which is pretty great.
Did we draw Sisu? That's pretty damn good. Yeah, I mean, this is like we're not that we're playing Be Prepared on this board. Like this is just winning the game board.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, looking at Dick's hand, we have a strength, which does nothing.
I mean,
and
he's
a friends, which does something, and a second strength,
yeah.
which has really got to hurt if you're Dick Burns.
Yeah.
Oh, I was expecting to see, like, another friends and another strength off the draw.
That would have been pretty rough.
At least we got the Maleficent, though, which is not enough at this point, but it's something.
Yeah, no. Fire the Cannons also does basically nothing. Yeah, I mean, that was, like, probably 4 out of 5 cards drawn in a row that you just do not want to see this part of the game. I think I fire off the cannons on the stake just to get rid of it. That'd be my guess. Is he just conceding?
No, I'm not done photoshopping.
Would have taken out that Genie, you know.
What did he do?
So he played Maleficent, strength for 2 damage on Sisu,
okay.
5 mechanics, 2 damage.
I see.
But I think that should have gone him a Genie, no?
I guess his fear is shift Sisu. Like that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how he takes out the Genie now. The Genie just locks out the game.
Oh, I'm with
this
you.
also, this also means that Baker doesn't have to play Be Prepared, so now we're not going to hear you sing, which makes it an even worse play.
Yeah,
an even worse play.
Like this has to be Doc and only Doc, and it's not. And yeah, I think we just lose the game.
Good game.
That's just going to be it.
Well, it looks like Baker, at least after the post-Swiss events, has brought back a point for EU, although I'm not sure if we're including this as part of EU, but I'm going to say it is anyway, because we are from 2 sides of the pond.
I think we just strength the Diablo, which I absolutely love.
Strength for your own Diablo, draw a card. Yeah, and find a dock. It's an okay out.
No, he strength Diablo. He strength Baker's Diablo, but I think that if he strength his own Diablo, that'd have been pro plays. If he drew,
I actually think maybe correct strengthening your own Diablo in this situation.
I think by lore it is not correct on that particular turn. But what did he do there? Oh, he just okay. I think it's funny that he even bothered to take out the card. I would have just left it. Oh, and there it is. There you go, guys.
Hey, the strength Diablo, your own Diablo play would have got the dock.
It would have. Oh, man.
Oh, and here's another Ratigan for intimidation.
I would still absolutely play this Pete just to ensure that we can't. He did play the Pete, so we can't be prepared. So that's good. That was great. That's the best news.
Judge, can you slip a note to one of the players to play Be Prepared, regardless of the board state?
But yeah, Baker takes it down.
And I did put the friends on the other side Photoshop in chat if you wanted to see that really quickly.
Oh, you did.
Oh, wonderful.
I missed it.
I put both in chat eventually.
I don't think it
but...
worked because I think you got blocked. I see stars.
Ah.
I think you got blocked.
Auto
You have
mod.
the worst
Add it again.
chat.
I listen. I
You
don't.
have the worst
I don't.
chat.
I don't do any of these
mod
things.
thing.
I'll be honest. I don't even know what the Chad mod thing is, man. I don't even know. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not.
It just says
I'm not a Twitch
stars.
streamer.
It doesn't give links. That's terrible.
Yeah. If you send it to me, I could probably link it. We can do one of those. I assume our friends are going to be joining here in a moment. They were instructed to come hang out.
I'll put them both in this chat we're in.
Do you have the power? I don't see them. They're not here. Or are they in some other channel that I can't? Oh, there they are. There's Dick. Dick has to unmute.
And they have arrived.
Lorcana Villain has to not unmute. He's already is unmuted.
Oh, maybe Baker should mute.
Baker picks up the big win. Let's see. Close this. What do we get to? We just get to friends. All right, we get to friends. Thank you so much, Phil. Oh, did he leave already? Man, I didn't even get to say thank you. Oh, no, there he is. Thank you.
In here?
Thank you, Phil. You were awesome. Did you have to make any crazy judge calls?
I wanted to DQ Baker, but just for the NA.
Okay, just for NA. That's you can't do that.
Just
That's
for
like,
NA.
That's like against the rules. Baker, before we talk about the match, can we talk about the amazing intro video that you made?
By all means. I didn't know if you had any more stuff you guys wanted to do, but yeah, if you're ready, we can talk about whatever you want.
I would love to talk about the effort that went into that intro video.
Burns muted if he doesn't know. Keep going.
Oh, it's Dick that's muted, not me.
No, yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right, we're good. I won't lie. I think probably I spent more time making that video than playtesting, which kind of should tell you everything you need to know about this whole exhibition match.
I didn't.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun to put together. I hope it was well received.
It seemed like everybody loved it. I'm excited to share it on socials and stuff like that. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, I was meant to do that. I forgot. Me and Dick were just chatting away. But yeah, good. I'm glad it went down well. A lot of work went into that. I was saying to Dick earlier on that like it's so weird like getting to do, like in a good way, hopefully getting to do things like that in the Lorcana space. Like I never imagined that a year down the line, like I'd be able to present something like that and have it actually make sense. Well, I imagined, but I didn't believe.
Right.
Like...
Yeah. There was there was a couple wrestling fan meets like theater geek comments.
Yeah, 100%.
Which all made sense, but yeah, it was
fully warranted.
I remember when I watched it earlier.
Dan was trying to take credit for it.
No, I did not. That's a lie. You.
Yeah, no, actually, I heard that Dan told the entire chat that he made the video.
Such lies.
I mean, he can take credit for a good amount of it. He was like, you watched it, right? You a lot of it, like, kind of instrumental in the whole thing.
Such lies. But anyway, thanks, co-casters.
You're welcome. I'll always keep you accountable.
Turned on you without like a second's hesitation.
Yeah, like not even like whatever.
What's the term for like the sports fans that like own fair weather fan or something where they're only fans when they win? So we're fans of Villain now.
Okay.
We're Team Villain. We're Team Villain now.
Oh my God, what is it?
Until I lose next, and then who knows?
It's something about like jumping ship, but I can't think of what it is. I can't remember right now. Somebody will remember. So Baker, what'd you think about your set here? Happy or sad with any of your particular plays?
So like obviously overall, I'm super happy to have been able to just about take it. Dick's a great player. Little peek. I don't want to ruin the magic for anyone and break kayfabe. But I got a lot of respect for Dick as an experienced player who's got had an impressive DLC season. Like I'm sure if you asked him that, he would probably say not so much. But personally, I think he's a bit too hard on himself. I know he's always performed well at events and kind of just barely misses the day 2. And I know a few there are some fantastic Lorcana players out there that have not made a day 2 yet, and like we could list them for a while. But Dick Burns is 100% on that list. very experienced player. So, and a player that I honestly do believe is better than me. So to be able to play well enough that I was able to take it, the dice roll helps a lot, as we all know. So I was super happy to win the dice roll. I absolutely think it was the difference maker. But I was just happy that I was able to take it even on the play. Like, I know a good player like Dick is going to punish anything you do wrong. So yeah, I'm super proud to have come to be able to come out with the 2-1. Yeah, game 2, I know it was the play I made was stupid at the end. I should have just tripled into the library and played the B prep. So I'm not saying this is what makes it right, but I'll tell you my thought trail at that time. So he was at 17 lore. I was at 6 ink. And I've got 8 damage on board. I think a genie, a crab, and something like a snake, something like that. 8 damage.
Yeah. So
the obvious play really was to triple. And I think Dick even said it verbally, like just beforehand. He was making his players like, "Well, you're probably doing this." Yeah. So yeah, like the immediate thought was, okay, you just triple into the library and B prep. But he's at 17 lore at this point, 3 cards in hand, about to draw up to 4, and I just got and this was wrong, by the way. I'm highlighting it to be like, don't do this, don't do what I did. I got tunnel vision towards the worst it could be. Okay, he's going up to 4 cards in hand. He just drops a goat bounce, or he just goes magic rose goat, something like that, and it's just over. Yeah. And while that could have been the case, I had 2 B preps in hand, so I could have just taken the library, B prepped, and prayed that he just played like Maleficent, Smee, Arrow, something like that. And then and then that second B prep, maybe I could have kept him off. It would have been an uphill battle. Like, a lot of turns would have had to have gone right in a row for me to keep him off of it. I would have need to be topping snakes into brawls, Medusas into brawls, into snakes for the Medusas. A lot would have had to have gone right. So I do think it was his game either way. But I absolutely still should have taken the optimal play and just hoped that, hey, maybe he misses. Maybe he gets greedy and I get a big B prep. Maybe I top a Sisu. So it was wrong to take that line. I played the friends because in my head I was like, again, I got tunnel vision that it was already over, and I was like, maybe I find a fox or a Maui off of this friends, and then I can remove this location and take out, I think in my head I could take out 2 of the characters. Yeah. And it was probably still wrong, but that's just a little peek into what my thought trail was at the time. And as soon as I did it, I regretted it, and I knew it was the wrong move. But yeah, that was just me falling into like panic mode more than anything, but recognized it was wrong. So yeah, not very happy with that move. Game 3, obviously, like, it went my way. I do think there were a couple of moves that I imagine the chat will have and possibly yourselves would have questioned, and like, I look forward to hearing back, because like, I always want to learn. Like, that's one of the best things about doing this for me, is now I can go back and watch this and I can learn from the commentary, I can learn from the chat, I can learn from just watching back myself, and I'm genuinely really excited to do that. But yeah, there were probably a couple of plays that I felt like the chat would have, and maybe yourselves would have done differently. The bounce genie, I can imagine, was a little bit what's the words? I'm completely forgetting the word. Controversial. Controversial is the one I was kind of going for. But at the same time, I think it was fine. I didn't have any other card draw, and I felt like I was a little bit ahead, so I could afford the loss in tempo for the turn. But yeah, I look forward to going back and watching it and like really evaluating and taking on the, you know, what the chat and your good selves had to say about the match. But yeah, overall, super happy to have come out of a 2-1 again. All the respect in the world to Mr. Dick Burns. And yeah, I said to him after the match, for what it's worth, I am proud to have done that. It's not just just another dub for the Lorcana villain. You know how it is. You know, I'm proud to have done that, and I look forward to learning more from it.
Yeah,
Well-
I just want to say thank you to Start, because you didn't get to play a third Be Prepared, and because of that, I didn't have to sing. So huge thank you.
Oh, was that the deal? Was it?
The rest of us sang. We
had to sing. Yeah.
Oh, you took it in turns. Oh, wow, I
Yeah.
definitely can't wait to watch it back then. There you go.
I did just
Other than that, I
want
just want to say thank you to you guys, thank you to the judges and everyone involved and all that. But yeah, it's been great.
to comment that even though you said it was very important that you were on the play, all 3 of those games like could have gone to the person on the draw. In game 1,
For sure.
there was a controversial-ish on our side. We did not necessarily agree with some of Dick's plays. Richard Burnsley here, inking the second library, was not something we agreed with. And we had done through it that if he kept it the next turn, he could have played it in another character to possibly gain the extra couple of lore he would have needed to steal that game from you. But and this is like, too many people are like aggro decks are brain dead. Like, you just think that because they have the perfect curve and beat you, but they had to think about what to ink each turn. They had
For
thousands of choices every turn.
I think
and
it's even
it's
more.
quite difficult.
It's even more true on the draw. Like to win with aggro on
Yeah.
the draw is it's just not easy.
A skill test for
Yeah.
sure. And then in game 3, like, it really felt like both players were in control back and forth. There was a turn, like, when he played the Pluto, you kind of had the exact answer to stop that. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, if you did not have the bounce crab style stuff that you needed on that turn, it was very
Mhm.
possible that he turned the corner and won the game before you got to 7 to play the B prep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like, props
Yeah.
on both players,
Yeah.
and like some very well played games, because like you can't just be like, oh, he made a mistake, he threw the game. He put himself in that position to make that mistake, so he made all the right plays to the quote unquote mistake. It might not have been a mistake. I'm not saying he wins the game if he does one thing differently.
Yeah.
So don't take it that way. There's so many
Hmm.
things that he had to choose to get to that point, right? So it's like a very skilled
Yeah.
decision tree.
I mean, and obviously we, hindsight's 2020, but we saw how the game played out, and really, like the play draw mattered way less than 3 draws in a row being basically blanks for Dick. So that was a big deal
Yep.
too. Like, yeah, the play draw seems to matter, but the real truth was, like in the end, like that game was very even, like on turn 7. So,
I think
just is
2
what it is.
times he was setting himself up for a dock turn, and he drew the second dock. The turn
Drew the
was-
second
my
dog,
God,
yeah.
yeah. It was all like super punished by Docs, for sure.
Yeah, and
I mean,
the
on the note of
third
playing
one-
draws, I wanted to ask Dick, how are you feeling about the friends on the other side after having played that set of games?
Oh, I would never put that in this deck normally, but
Mm.
and I didn't want to metagame specifically against villain. So I didn't play a deck that was good against him specifically, what I assumed he was gonna play. But I knew he wasn't gonna have Ursula, and it just feels so good to draw cards.
Mm.
But like, it's not going in like the Metafy guide that you should be playing friends all of a sudden. You know.
God no. I said multiple
You were
times.
happy with
Dick,
the friends.
Just so you know, Dick, I said multiple times I had nothing to say about this deck list. I was just like, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
So, Dick, how you feeling
Yeah.
after that set, bud?
I don't know. Empty. I feel like I've expended so much energy over the past couple of months. I can't wait for the inevitable live stream we do with Villain.
100%.
Where we go over everything that has happened the past couple of,
Where we
the
just,
past couple of months.
where we break kayfabe.
It's been a wild ride.
We just break kayfabe to everybody and show off our DMs. Is that what we're doing?
Exactly.
Receipts, nothing but receipts.
Yeah. So game 1. Like, let me get all the excuses out of the way.
Okay.
Right. This is gonna be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hit the
Haven't
record
Woke
slept-
up
button,
on the
guys.
wrong side of the bed.
Haven't slept in 3 days. Dad knows.
Facts.
Crippling anxiety about this, especially when like Zach had won, and then I believe all the alternates won, right?
Yes.
And then let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, Baker, well loved by the community, well known by the community. The people that know me, I feel like me, care about me, but not as many people know me. So I felt like I had way more to gain in this instance, if that made sense. So that was just so stressful. And then I am genuinely not an evil person, no matter how much I joke around on here.
Whoa.
Baker
I've heard you. I've seen you riffle shuffle cards. I think that's a sign of something. If not villainy, something else.
Wait until the hobbiness and happiness episode comes out, or the hobbies and happiness episode, where I have no sleeves.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's
someone needs to go clip. Someone needs to go clip the first insult I threw at Baker, as Liam had me muted and was boasting about how nice of a person I am. So this has been a little stressful, to say the least. So many people I've never met just hate my guts. But yeah, so I would say it affected my gameplay a little, but it shouldn't. So at the end of the day, all those excuses mean nothing. I consider myself like an elite level player. And if I'm wrong thinking that, fake it till you make it. So all hats off to Baker. Like,
Hard being the heel.
I just like when I played against Luxury and lost to Nigel, absolute pleasure to lose to like give the rub to someone who I like. I'd be furious if I had to like play an exhibition match against someone who I thought was a terrible person, and I'm putting them over. Like, I'm gonna be honest, but no matter what, I knew the outcome was gonna be great. I hope everyone in the community enjoyed this so much. That's all I care about, honestly. Like, I go to these DLCs, I don't even want to play in them. I just want to go meet people, and I want people to be happy to see me, and I want to joke around with people. And Dan can tell you it's all I do at the DLCs. So
too much.
Yeah, appreciate everyone. But,
I mean, it's kind of a magic joke, but it's like you go for the magic, but you stay for the gathering. It works for Lorcana as well.
Nerd.
That sounds so cheesy, but I love
nerd.
It was
I've never heard that before, but it's a beautiful statement.
It's true. Well, gentlemen, is there any last words either of you would like to say before I take us home? Alphys or Wonder there?
Yeah, I didn't know which gentleman
them.
players or...
I mean, well, gentlemen addressed everybody in the room, so that wasn't very helpful, I guess.
Bro.
As of one of the many people in this room, I'd just like to say it was an amazing match to watch, and as someone who wasn't following along with the Twitter beef online, having that introduction video really set the scene for me and built a beautiful narrative to set the stage for this match and made it that much more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
I'm glad that was the hope.
I was going to say,
like, if you haven't been watching the week-to-week show, you just buy the pay-per-view. You still got to know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, earlier. Sorry, Wonder. I got to interrupt real quick. Earlier, when I was watching the video and like Limp Bizkit just hits, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna love this. Go ahead, Wonder. I bet.
I was gonna say, lots of people have been like, what are you talking about? Like, where do I see this? It's like, we do need kind of a full, like, I want you to make a video, the history of the Lorcana villain Burnsley, like, issue or whatever. Like, obviously name something better than that.
I mean, that video sums it up pretty well, really. Like,
did that video have
kind of get it all in that 5 minutes?
Everything?
Yeah, and it was fun too, because like we did this for the LCCC. Like, there's too many C's, guys. We gotta think of something better.
LC3.
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 But a lot of this kind of reminded me of what the ICL is also trying to do too, like building those beefs and kind of like just setting this, like, I don't know, like, hey, we're gonna set up this pay-per-view on Friday nights and everyone's gonna come and watch. So there's a lot of that I think is really fun, and it's, if we can get more playful fun like amongst players and teams, I mean, everyone's just gonna have a good time with it, as long as it's all in good fun. I think it's great.
Yeah, of course.
From the moment we started this with Baker, and what I think, I don't know that I've actually said this publicly yet, but the line that I say to Dick when I say Lorcana villain needs more fan, there was literally no ill intent in that line whatsoever from me. And Dick was like, "No, man, it was mean." I'm like, "How is it mean?" Like,
which line?
Like I was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "It's really great because Lorcana villain definitely needs more fans." And when Dick,
that was
no, that's what I'm saying. So when Dick says it back, and I'm like, oh, I guess you could take it that way, but I had never meant it to come off like a heel comment at all. I was just like, yeah, man, we all need more fans. Like, it was one of those, like, I was actually trying to buff up the Lorcana villain as the content creator, and it was taken so far out of my intent that I'm like, all right, like, I guess that's what happened, like,
that's why I said you were the villain the whole time. It's like, you were, I was just like, wow, that was like out of there. That's how it started. I thought Burns did this.
I never meant for it to be that way, but man, it came off that way, and I was like, all right, I guess if that's what it took, then hey, what are you gonna do? But it was funny.
Can we just say, me and Baker were talking the whole time. Yeah, how am I the bad guy? He drugged me. Does no one remember this?
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Why are you drinking other people's teas?
Yeah.
You stole his tea. He has a tolerance to whatever it was that made you fall asleep.
I thought my best friend Daniel left me some delicious tea.
No, I have minions in America.
I'm pretty
just
sure you
snuck
said
into our
tea
Airbnb?
in
No,
America.
The trick is the tea wasn't drugged. It was just you left the tea bag in, and you're not supposed to do that. You got to take it out before you drink it.
Very, very.
Yeah, but there was just such high concentration of tea.
Yeah.
It was too much.
All right, let's go around the room. Baker, last words.
Yeah, just again, GG's to Dick. It was an absolute pleasure. Again, thank you to you guys for casting this extra exhibition match. Thank you to Pavel and the entire Pixelborn staff, and to Phil and our secondary judge as well, who I am going to confirm. I'm not just going to say whoever it was because they deserve it.
Ellie.
It was Ellie.
Yeah.
So it's Phil and Ellie. So huge shout out to you guys, and to everyone that's just been supporting the LC3 in general. I think it's been for what it's worth, Dan, maybe you can say the same. I feel kind of proud that this was born essentially out of what started as a little bit of a Twitter feud, shall we say. So I think that's super, super cool that this was born from it. Like you say, I would like to see more, like in the ICL, I'd like to see more teams like, you know, all in good fun, but like make a story out of it, like build it up, and then sort of like when it does, people will watch Lorcana anyway. But if you build up like a rivalry, give it a bit of a story, have some fun, be creative. It's good content. People are going to enjoy it, and you're going to have a lot of fun yourself. So yeah, just super grateful to everybody, and really excited for the future of Lorcana 2025 and beyond. And that's me.
Alphos.
I mean, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure to cast. I always enjoy casting games, and having one where we know both of the players and the story behind it made it so much more enjoyable. So thanks for having me be a part of this.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Wizard.
I'm honestly surprised we did so well with 3 people. There
Well,
was
you
one or two
photoshopped.
times that I wanted to be like, you need to shut up so I can talk. But that was rarely did that happen.
Well, you
I did a
photoshopped
little
and sung.
Photoshop.
It was fine.
Well, pop those up. You can look at them right now.
That's
Like, you're
true.
sharing your screen. You
I-
can do that.
Is it in here?
I put them in the chat. Like, on that chat right
Okay,
there.
I
Now
can't-
you're sharing your Discord.
I won't
so be
actually
careful.
see it, so it won't. Oh,
Do you see where it says LCCC live?
yeah,
you
yeah.
click the open chat.
Oh, it's in here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it here? This one? No.
Hmm.
This one. Aha, I found it.
I really like the Friends one actually.
All right, so
the Friends is great.
I love
The
it.
skill it took to curve that image just a little bit to make him
Oh,
tip
yeah.
his hat and
It
then
was a
spray
perfect
over the
angle.
hat that was already there.
And then our other one here. This one's for you, Dick, for sure.
They're both for him.
No, but this one is like really for him, without a doubt. Dick, any last words, sir? Besides Mr. Arrow's Legacy's first mate.
Yeah, thank you everyone in here, the judges, commentators, everyone. Alphos, we've never met. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you to everyone that's been the L LC3. Yeah.
LC3.
It's like
LC3, you know me.
Lorcana Carter the Third. Got it. Anyone else out there, if you want beef, I'm the meat man. All right, I'm the butcher. All right, you can't beat my prices, but you can beat my meat. So if you want some, come get some.
Oh
All right.
my god. Too fun. I would definitely like to thank Phil and Ellie for hanging out, doing the judging. Wonder, Alphos for joining me for casting. Was a great. Baker, this was phenomenal. So much fun for us to kind of work with you through all this. I can't wait to talk and look forward to the podcast afterwards because I think it's going to be great. Dick, as usual,
100%.
you were the dud that I predicted this morning. But in all honesty, thanks for
Wow. Is the next feud video just going to be like the drama inside of House TFM?
I'm not on camera. I'm wearing a luxury shirt.
Wow.
You could turn your camera on right now if you wanted to prove that.
I'm lying.
Is this why
It's a
you're
joke.
the most?
It's a
I guess,
joke.
is this why you're the most sponsored player? I mean, we didn't need to talk about that.
That's
If
an
you play
absolute
multiple
fact.
teams, you can get all of their sponsors.
That's an
Who
absolute
are all of your
fact.
sponsors?
So many guys.
They're paying you. Let's hear it.
Just go back and watch the interview we did in like March, where he has like 7 sponsors in that video. It's only gotten more now.
Yeah, I had to use this playmat. Shout out to Dream Days Comics Fun Games. They pay me quarterly to use this playmat.
Bro, I want that.
Yeah, I mean,
Give me
Dan,
money.
listen, anytime I tell Dan, hey, this company approached me, they want to pay me, he's just like, I'm not gonna curse on here, but there's a lot of cursing. He's like, I have this whole YouTube channel, I have this whole company. You're just some random guy named Dick Burns. I'm telling you, almost any store I walk into, they offer to give me something free. It blows my mind. Like,
The rich just keep getting richer.
I get everything from my stupid name. Everything I ever had in life is from my stupid name. And yes, it is my real name.
It is.
How many of your sponsors are ointment creams?
None.
You know what? I'm not going to say the name of the company
But there is.
because they did not
They turned
pick
them
me
down,
up.
guys.
And I'm still mad. Very famous company
They turned
that
them
would...
down.
And Pave gave me the line to pitch them. Go 9 rounds like Dick Burns when you take
I mean,
insert company. And they're like,
maybe.
I mean, how is that not a match made in heaven?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's an adult conversation, but when men get big, sometimes chafing happens. It would be nice. Like, there is room in the card game community for this type of sponsorship deal, and I think it's money being left on the table. Like,
Oh, so very
But
true.
I mean, very soon, I haven't even told Dan this yet. Very soon I may be sponsoring myself. So let's be ominous here and
boy.
more to come.
man.
There'll be a video on the Team TFM channel.
There you go.
It's like, I'm sorry, Dan, I can't do this. My sponsor doesn't
Yeah.
want me to. It's
I
like,
know,
which
right?
one? Me.
Yeah, right.
My sponsor says it's bad for brand.
Yeah, I mean, he is bad for the brand, so.
I'm bad for the brand, but I'm good for the game.
That's
So that's what Katie says.
That's true.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
trust that woman with my life.
That's weird. It's really weird. The last, of course, thank you is to Pavel for honestly giving us all something to watch the last few months. I think that's been great. I am honored.
100%.
I'm definitely honored to be able to stream the last game here. It was really, very appreciative of letting Pavel let me do that. Share this with all of you. Anyone that followed or subbed today, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for on the Twitch. In case you don't know me, you're new, somehow you didn't know anything about this feud leading up to this point, I hope you guys did enjoy it. Thank you guys. Everyone involved today, you were all awesome. And the second season, I'm sure Pavel will have details on that coming up. My guess is it'll be sometime a little bit later in 2025, maybe a month or so break, who knows. But it was fun. I was mostly a watcher the entire time, a spectator, so it was cool to finally be a part of it, and great times again. So thank you guys, everyone. For
I'll be honest.
watching.
That's just to finish off. That's one thing that I was stressed playing, but I tell you what, I was glad to not have all the technical worries that come with hosting and streaming a game. That was one less thing to worry about. So fair play to you, and thank you for doing it as well.
I brought it together in about 25 minutes. I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah. Well, I was
About
there for some of
25
that,
minutes
so I
to get the
believe
bare
you.
minimum.
But yeah, no, thank you to you for that. And I forgot to say earlier, just a very quick shout out. I said I didn't test much for this match. I didn't. The testing I did was 3 matches, but that was with Artabax and Lorcana deck list. So shout out to them for testing with me, even if I predicted the wrong deck, but still.
Big names.
There you go. Well, thank you guys, everyone, for watching today. We're going to get out of here. The videos will definitely be on the TFM channel later this week, probably. So if you want to catch them and you missed the stream. Also, I'm pretty confident anybody can watch the stream back, so that's always there. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
For a while.
Thank you guys, everyone, for joining me that's in this room. Shout out to the judges. Shout out to Pavel. And a huge shout out to a wonderful game played by Baker and Dick. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.